Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So Dillian Whyte will return to action on June 7th at Portman Road on the Fabio Wardley Justis Huni Undercard. It's interesting the way that boxing works. It's interesting the way that life works, right? Because Dillian Whyte is the one who discovered Fabio Wardley, and Wardley was fighting on Dillian Whyte undercards coming up. And now the master is fighting on the undercard of the apprentice, rather than the other way around. I think many people, maybe not all people, but many would agree that Fabio Wardley has actually now surpassed Dillian Whyte. I'm not talking about in terms of overall career achievement or overall career earnings. I mean, as far as where they're at right now in terms of ranking, because Fabio Wardley is ranked in the top 10 by several of the major sanctioning bodies, whereas Dillian Whyte isn't ranked in the top 15 by any of them. And also my perception of how good both fighters are right now. For me, Fabio Wardley at this stage is better than Dillian Whyte. Whyte is on the decline, 37 years of age, a lot of wear and tear, several knockout defeats. So yeah, it's just interesting seeing the apprentice overtake the master. So anyway, Dillian will fight on this card, June 7th, against an opponent yet to be announced, TBA. Whyte is currently 31-3, 21 KOs, and all three of his losses were by knockout or stoppage. 37 years of age. He's seen better days. He's always had a ferocious fighting heart, a tremendous left hook, a useful jab. He's physically strong. He's vicious in there. He's got a high level of natural confidence, but he's also got two left feet. He's not very athletically gifted, looks clumsy in the ring a lot of the time. He's a plodder. He moves around slowly for the most part. And over the past few years, we've seen an undeniable deterioration in his punch resistance. You know, back when he fought Anthony Joshua, despite the fact that he eventually got knocked out, he showed a pretty good chin. I mean, he was taking absolute haymakers from AJ through the first 6 rounds of that bout and staying on his feet, including big uppercuts in the first couple rounds in particular that knocked his head back. A couple years later, he fought Derek Chisora in an absolute barn burner, and it was a similar thing. He was able to take Chisora's big shots. But gradually, because of tough fights, age, and his infamously wild sparring sessions, we've seen that punch resistance deteriorate, get worse and worse and worse, to the point where he gets hurt or even dropped in pretty much every fight against anyone with a pulse. Didn't get hurt or dropped in his last 2 against journeyman in Ebenezer Tate and Christian Hammer, but he was hurt against Jermaine Franklin. He was knocked out by Tyson Fury. He wasn't hurt in the rematch with Povetkin, to be fair, but he was certainly hurt and knocked out pretty much cold in the first fight with Povetkin that preceded it. He was hurt by Marius Wack. He was hurt by Oscar Rivas and dropped in that fight. He was hurt and dropped by Joseph Parker. You get the picture. And speaking of his last fight against Ebenezer Tate, the deterioration on display that night wasn't so much punch resistance, because Tate never really landed anything particularly clean. It was in the speed of Dillian Whyte's left hook, and therefore the power of it. Because Dillian Whyte overall is a slow fighter, but that left hook used to have very good acceleration on it. That was the one thing he could actually do fast in the ring, fire off the left hook. But against Tate, that left hook was painfully slow. And because of the lack of acceleration, the old power wasn't on it anymore. And Tate was able to take it. This is the very same Ebenezer Tate that was blasted out in 1 round, not only by Daniel Dubois several years ago, but by Fraser Clark just last month. And Fraser Clark is not a massive puncher, but he got Tate out of there, no problem whatsoever. But somehow Tate was hanging around till the 7th round with Dillian Whyte, and he caught him clean plenty of times. So yeah, the deterioration that I see in Dillian Whyte extends beyond just his punch resistance now. And the Tate fight, by the way, was his 2nd fight in 2024. So it's not like he'd been out the ring for years by the time the Tate fight happened. He'd fought earlier on the same year. Now, in interviews this week, Dillian Whyte has addressed Lawrence Okolie calling him out. And I'm not surprised by the fact that he's dismissed the Okolie fight. He said Okolie is boring and nobody would want to see these two fight each other. Dillian Whyte kept focusing on fighting the likes of Anthony Joshua. Lawrence Okolie, of course, says that Dillian Whyte's not going to get that fight. Okolie's view is that Dillian Whyte is living in the past, thinking that his commercial value is what it was a few years ago, thinking that he's some kind of hot commodity when, in Okolie's opinion, he no longer is. He thinks Dillian Whyte needs to be more realistic about the types of fights and therefore the types of paydays that he can get at this stage. And personally, I think Okolie might be right, although we'll see with AJ, because if he can't get the Fury fight, he might revisit a Dillian Whyte rematch. But if he doesn't, then yeah, where's Dillian Whyte really going to go? A Chisora rematch? Maybe, because it seems like Chisora's at a loose end at the moment. But a point I really want to make is, I think a lot of people would like to see Lawrence Okolie fight Dillian Whyte because of the backstory, the beef. And although Lawrence Okolie has put on some dreadfully boring performances in the past, his last two performances, one at Bridgerweight and one at Heavyweight, were first-round blowouts. So I'd like to see the fight. But to be fair, as much as you could criticize Dillian Whyte for not entertaining Lawrence Okolie, you could also criticize Lawrence Okolie for not rescheduling the Richard Riakporhe fight. In some ways, Dillian Whyte and Lawrence Okolie are in similar positions because they're both targeting fights and targeting fighters who are maybe slightly out of their reach or slightly beyond them commercially. But at least with Okolie, to be fair, he is ranked very highly. But the WBC is actually number one with that organization. So I'm sure he would argue that he's very close to getting one of those bigger names in the heavyweight division, whether they want to fight him or not. He's basically one fight away from becoming mandatory, whereas Dillian Whyte isn't ranked in the top 15 by any of the major sanctioning bodies. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And before I go, make sure you check out my latest topical content on Patreon. The new movie, Sinners Decoded. This is not just a regular vampire flick. There's a lot of subtext and symbolism in this film, which I reveal the meaning of. If you want a free 10-minute sample of my decoding, just click the link in the description box below. You won't have to sign up for anything. You can just click the link and start listening immediately. If you like what you hear, consider signing up to access the full episode and my entire back catalog of topical content going back several years. Hundreds and hundreds at this point of podcasts, videos, movie decodings, discussions about current affairs, history. I've done documentaries on there. Almost any subject that you could possibly imagine, chances are I've already covered it on my Patreon page. So yeah, check out the free 10-minute sample. It's getting great feedback. People are absolutely loving it. Just check out the comments. Just have a listen. If you like what you hear, sign up. There's no contract, no commitment. All the links are in the description, and all the details of what to do are in this trailer. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform, who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.